Apple's popularity among younger generations may be hurting them more than we all realize. The tech giant's premium pricing is certainly not helping younger folks save money, while Apple's slick but overly simplified user interface could actually be crippling their customers' ability to learn and eventually succeed later on in life. In this video, we will evaluate how deeply Apple's brand has penetrated into the lifestyles of Gen Zs and the negative impacts that they are having across the entire generation and possibly future ones as well. Let's start by understanding exactly how strong Apple's brand is coveted by Gen Zs. This natively digital generation is usually defined by anyone born from the late 1990s until the early 2010s. Their maturation through their teenage years and young adulthood have coincided directly with the resurgence of Apple and the launch of their most successful product, the iPhone. Since its debut in 2007, the iPhone has sold over 2 billion units across the globe and has helped Apple become the most valuable brand in the world, reaching a market cap of over $3 trillion in 2022. Apple owes a large portion of their success to the Gen Z community and their fierce infatuation with the brand. Anecdotally, people in their teens and early 20s view Apple as a must-have accessory that conveys sophistication and allows them to be part of the club. Compared to other smartphones, they value Apple exclusive features like iMessage and AirDrop, along with the phone's sleek design and the cinematic-grade photos and videos that it generates. But there may be another factor at play here as well, and that is peer pressure. Teens and young adults are acutely aware of what their friends think, and the iPhone, along with communication through iMessage, can be seen as a social signal and an extension of their own image. This fear of having green text bubbles from an Android show up while in a group chat drives this younger cohort to choose an iPhone so that they are not left out of any social circles. The numbers seem to back this behavior up as well. A 2023 research study done by the Financial Times found that those born after 1996 make up 34% of all iPhone owners in the US. When you account for differences across ages and income levels, 34% comes out to be an extremely disproportionate amount, especially since Gen Z accounts for just 25% of the population, and the fact that we are talking about a luxury good here. The same trend can be found in other parts of the world. Take South Korea, for example. It is home to Samsung, which is one of Apple's chief competitors. Samsung dominates their home market when it comes to many electronics. Yet, for smartphones, the Wall Street Journal found that in 2023, 52% of people ages 18 to 29 own an iPhone, compared to 44% that own a Samsung. So, why is this all a problem? It's a free economy and consumers are allowed to have a preference, right? Well, those preferences may not prove to be beneficial for them in the long run. One way that Apple has severely impacted Gen Z and potentially future generations is due to their pricing strategy. Apple products are priced to be at the top of the market, which can hurt Gen Z's wallets in the short term and also their mindset for the future. These days, the latest top-of-the-line iPhone Pro Max can cost up to $1,600. Meanwhile, the average price of an iPhone is now approaching $1,000. On the surface though, it's not the worst deal in the world. After all, a consumer will use their phone nearly every waking hour of their day. It provides ample utility as an internet browser, a camera, and an entertainment powerhouse all in one package. But the problem lies in the overall value of the iPhone relative to its competitors. An entry-level smartphone from Samsung or Motorola can be had for as little as $150. They will also allow you to do everything that an iPhone does. Okay, but you could say that the iPhone does everything better, and it is a compromise to just splurge this one time on this one purchase. Although that is a reasonable justification, that type of mentality, especially at a younger age, can be a reflection of future spending habits and start a lifelong obsession with premium brands that are perceived to be, quote, better. When will the compromises end? A continuous lifestyle of chasing luxury brands that are priced above your means is a quick way to eat up your savings and end up in debt. A good example is with Apple's product lineup itself. You usually start by buying an iPhone and then seeing how well it works. That gets you into Apple's ecosystem and also shows you how seamlessly their devices connect to each other. So, you are then more likely to purchase a MacBook, AirPods, or an Apple Watch. Let's break down a comparison of two customers then, one that insists on Apple products and one that is content with something that just works. The latest iPhone will set you back about $1,000, while you can find a decent Samsung for about $200. For laptops, our Apple-centric consumer goes with a MacBook Pro so that they have enough power just in case they wanted to start and edit their own vlog. So that's another $1,500. Meanwhile, an extremely capable laptop from HP or Dell can be had for just $500. The same story applies to headphones, AirPods for $180 versus some generic wireless headphones for about $50. Let's add a watch in as well. The latest Apple Watch retails for $400, while you can get a comparable Garmin or Fitbit smartwatch for about $200. When you add up all the differences, it comes out to over $2,000 more for the Apple products. That extra $2,000 can be the basis of an emergency fund or used to pay off existing debts, which has also continued to grow for Gen Z. The other way that Apple has hurt Gen Z is based on the design of their software. Apple is well known for developing a user interface and operating system that is straightforward and easy to use. But has it become too easy to use? Since Gen Zs are the first generation of tech natives to grow up with phones and tablets, everyone takes their ability to understand and use the latest technology for granted. However, Apple's touchscreen interface makes it so that you don't actually have to understand how it works. This brings up a question about Gen Z's true tech literacy. Sure, they know how to use apps and talk to Siri, but do they know how to use a file and directory system that computers are based on? There has been growing concern across higher education and the workplace that Gen Z students are not trained well enough and simply do not have the same tech savviness that millennials and Gen Xers were essentially forced to develop. Teachers and employers have noticed that today's younger generation is actually quite tech illiterate when it comes to navigating through directories, downloading software, or even using Word or Excel. Basic things like understanding the differences between a file, a folder, and an application has become an issue as well. Gen Zers themselves have even noted that they feel digitally underprepared by their schools. In a survey done by Dell, almost half of Gen Zs said that the level of computer skills taught at their schools only reached a very basic degree. Additionally, more than 1/3 felt that their education did not prepare them with the technology skills needed for their career. At the same time, Apple products have become so easy to use that people have never had to learn what happens behind the scenes or what to do when things go wrong. Therein lies the real problem of this issue, which is the ability to troubleshoot and problem solve. A whole generation has never needed to develop any critical thinking skills around technology due to the plug-and-play nature of the devices around them. Meanwhile, older generations have gained a digital edge simply for their ability to analyze and diagnose a problem, which could also be a broader reflection of the fundamental skill gap that has emerged among Gen Z. Apple never meant to make such a distinct impact on one particular generation. But the reality is that they have indirectly caused the whole age group to become almost too dependent on their products. That has led to financial and intellectual consequences for Gen Z and future generations that are not very easy to solve. What do you think? Do you recognize this exaggerated demand for Apple products among today's youth? Are you part of Gen Z and see these behaviors among your peers or even yourself? Are our future generations well trained to use technology, or have we reached a point where things have become too simplified? Let us know your thoughts in the comments down below. Also, if you found this type of analysis interesting, please subscribe to this channel for more stories that will uncover topics that you might not have thought about. We would really appreciate the support, and it would help our independent channel grow so that we can produce more original content like this. As always, thanks for watching.